known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers' best bet or daily package for only $2.
Yeah, baby. Hello, everyone. It's me, the Prez. You're watching WagerTalk Today, the world's best daily sports betting show on the planet. Of course, every day it's Teddy with me. I'm excited. Dude, you can tell I went 2-0 last night in hoops. I got my first 5% basketball play of the year up today. I am pumped. We'll talk about it in a bit. How are you? What's going on? Who's on the show?
So I will say this, Lawrence. You were gone all last week. Steve Merrill did the opens. There's a different tone to the open when Steve does it and when you do it. That being said, we enjoy your energy. Congrats on a good night in hoops last night. On today's show, Carmine Bianco is going to lead off. He's going to talk a couple of the NHL for tonight. New Jersey and Vegas, as well as Colorado against Washington. Bryan Power is a $2 Tuesday handicapper over at WagerTalk.com today. He's going to break down a couple of games in hoops actually for tonight. He's going to talk Celtics Heat in the NBA. And dear to my heart here in Sin City, he's going to talk Wyoming UNLV in college hoops. My big game breakdown, we're going to go to the association for tonight and talk about the Nuggets and the Pelicans. And, of course, Dave Sharapan is going to close out the show with a view from the other side of the counter. We'll get the bookmaker perspective on what just happened and on what's going to happen moving forward. If we get 100 likes, I believe we'll have a presidential address at the end of today's show. But that sets the agenda. Let's get right into it.
Teddy covers. Big Daddy writes, Teddy and Prez, best 1-2 tandem on Wager Talk. I don't know, man. I feel we might be the best 1-2 tandem on radio or TV, frankly. I mean, Greeny isn't with Golick anymore. Stern and Robin don't do it for me. I love Stern. I can't deal with Robin. Skip and Shannon are fighting with each other all the time. I'm thinking it's me and you, bro.
I'll go for Kelly and Marco.
What? I need a moment here. Oof. Okay.
Bet on it, man. Bet on it's the number one show. It has been. Continues to be. We got to give him credit. Kelly and Marco are doing something right.
Yeah, but I think that's Joe Ranieri.
Okay.
Anyway, they're a threesome, dude. We're a twosome, and we're freaking better. Okay, guys. Okay. Before we get Carmine on, and I'm excited to have him, one of the best human beings on the freaking planet. I have my first 5% play in college basketball up tonight. I have been pleading with you people to buy my hoops for weeks. And yeah, yesterday I was like, oh, Prez with the shameless promo. Oh yeah, big man? You would have gone 2-0 if you bought his shameless promo for $9 freaking. Dude, I am on an 11-5 college basketball run. I'm up 23 units on the season. I'm on an 11-2 NBA run. I'm up 64 units on the season. I'm on a 6-0 hoops run. I'm up 87 units on the season. I am the number one CBB NBA expert, wire to wire. Not today, because I had a great night yesterday. Not Thursday, because I had a great Tuesday and Wednesday. Wire to wire. I have my first college basketball 5% up tonight, and inside the package is a sick offer, and it expires at midnight. So buy that package and take advantage of that offer. Okay, with all that said, we have another 5% play tonight, and it's Carmine Bianco's, and I'm excited because, dude, I am betting your play. What's up, my friend?
Okay, good luck to both of us. Good. Got in late last night from Vegas, so it was a really fun trip. Got to meet David Williams at dinner, Prez.
What a guy.
surprisingly, he had some nice things to say about you, so it's really good. But he's a really cool guy. Todd Furman, another good guy. Gianni the Greek was out there as well too, so I got to talk some MMA with him at the table. It was a fun trip. I'm looking forward to heading back in March again.
You know, Carm, we'll get into your bets in 2 seconds, but Teddy, I don't know if you've had the pleasure of meeting Dave Williams, one of the greatest poker players of all time, an incredible chef. But past all of that, because his parents didn't raise a great poker player, they raised a great person. He is freaking spectacular, Carm. So I'm with you on that, brother. Okay, dude, we got the New Jersey Devils going in, playing at home, hosting Vegas tonight. I got nothing on this game. I'm curious where you're going.
Well, I'm going to New Jersey, Prez. This team has been one of the streakiest teams that we have seen this season. They lose their first couple of games, so that's not really a streak. But then they go on a 13 game win streak before the Leafs ended it. And then we saw a huge spell where I think they lost like 9 in a row. But this team is playing extremely well right now. You can look at their last 10 games, 7-1-2. You look at their last 15 games. And they went through a spurt during that losing streak where they were playing some very tough teams. It was a scheduling hell for this New Jersey team. You look at some of those losses, I think 6 losses over their 15 games. 2 are against the Carolina Hurricanes, 2 of them were against the Boston Bruins. Both teams were first in their respective divisions and are playing extremely well. They've righted the ship. They're playing well, and they're in and their scheduling over the next couple of weeks is a very good one. When we talk about teams who don't have the best scheduling situation, is this Vegas Golden Knights team. They've lost 4 of their last 5 games. Didn't look good, I thought, against Arizona, although there was a very good goaltending performance by the Coyotes. But it was at this time last year where Vegas, I think, went on a road trip, and it was a 5-game trip, and they lost all 5 games. They were absolutely brutal. And that came on the heels of playing some very good hockey. And look at this road trip. They start out with a loss in Arizona. They play the New Jersey Devils tonight. They've got to play against the Rangers, the Islanders, the Predators, and Minnesota before they head home. That it just seems like another disastrous road trip for a team that isn't playing very good hockey right now. You can get the Devils minus 105 in regulation, and if you want to bypass laying a lot of juice, that's probably the best way to go here. So I'll take New Jersey in regulation minus 105.
Carmine Bianco says, take a look at the New Jersey Devils tonight against the Vegas Golden Knights. Let's go out and take a look at some West Coast action, late night affair, Washington and Colorado. Looking at the records of these two teams, they look fairly similar, but it's not a pick 'em. Colorado's a legit favorite tonight, minus 145, minus 150 in some spots. If you shop around, you can find a minus 140. Total sitting at 6 between the Caps and the Avalanche. How do we deal with this hockey game on what's today? Tuesday night.
It's $2 Tuesday day at WagerTalk at Sports Memo, and it's $2. It's Tuesday throughout the world, other than Australia. Teddy, listen, I always talk about trying not to catch a falling knife. You've used that phrase before, I'm pretty sure. And you look at this Colorado team, and they are starting to turn around. They've won 5 straight. And while I was in Vegas on Sunday, I watched the football games at Caesars. They had the Colorado Avalanche at plus 900 to win the Stanley Cup. And I had to bet it because this team is going to make the playoffs. They're going to get healthy, and they're going to be better. Cale Makar, who's been injured, was a full participant yesterday in practice. He's ready to go, but I'm not sure if he'll be in tonight. They'll probably give him another day or two before they put him into the lineup. But I'm going to take Washington here. I thought their opener was, as far as the opening price on this one, was a good one on them. It was at plus 135, plus 140, and I knew the market would come back and lower that price, and they're down to plus 120 right now. Last year, they were a very good home team. A very good road team. This year, not so much. Pretty much a 500 record, but they are 9-2 their last 11 road games. And when I'm taking a dog, on the road especially, is a team that I know will compete. I had the Sabres yesterday at plus 150 for my clients in Dallas, and the Sabres compete. I think Philly is a live dog as well too tonight, but they are at home. But this Washington team has actually dominated this Colorado team. I think they can go in there and get the win tonight at a decent plus money price. So if you can still get, there's some 130s still on the board. You get those plus 130s, I'd probably take it here.
Interesting pick on that, Carm. I was looking at the Colorado-Washington game myself. My initial reaction was Colorado, and I couldn't understand why the line was so low. But, man, Colorado is just absolutely rolling 5 straight in a row. So I got worried. It took me off that game. Yeah. I don't like betting teams where they've won 5 in a row, and I'm trying to figure out, are they going to win their 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th? I just stop. But you like the Caps.
Yeah, and when we're talking about the futures, as long as, and I do like the Caps, when we're talking about the futures before I go here, one thing about Colorado is they're going to get healthy. McCarr is going to get back on. Landeskog, we'll see when he comes back. But Lawrence, the Chicago Blackhawks, and I talked about it on Puck Time, Chicago Blackhawks are going to sell players. And if they get Kane and Taves to waive their no trade clauses, how good would Jonathan Taves look in as a centerman on the Colorado Avalanche once they're in a playoff spot? They just got to make the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, this team has so many weapons. You're not going to get plus 900 anywhere.
Listen, and Colorado is going to pick up some people at the trade deadline, and I do like that bet. Colorado is definitely a bet on team moving forward. I think he'll look great as a centerman on Colorado, so long as he's wearing a Leaf jersey while doing it. Carmine Bianco, everyone. 5% play going tonight. Tell us about that.
Yeah, 5% play up. Hockey's really picked up after the first bad week of January, but last 7 days, 19-6 in NHL, and a 5% play up for tonight. And you can use coupon code Bianco10. That's Bianco10 to get $10 off that play.
Beautiful. Hey, try that code on the Prez play too. Why not? Think it'll work? Nah, it won't work. Carmine Bianco, everyone. Carm, we love you, man. Thanks for joining us. Teddy covers. We got Bryan Power coming up after, but first we got to talk about the fact that it is $2 Tuesday over at WagerTalk.com. Jazzy Ray is the $2 handicapper. He's on a 7-2 run in NFL. He's actually really, we brought 3 guys over in July from covers. We brought Jazzy Ray, Ben Burns, and Bryan Power. Ben Burns is probably a top 3, top 5 handicapper in history. Jazzy Ray is the top handicapper, not of those 3, but of pretty much everybody on the website since the day he joined us. And Bryan Power has kick-ass hair. So, I mean, come on. How great a triad of guys did we bring over? Jazzy Ray, $2 Tuesday at WagerTalk. $5 at Sports Memo for 3 handicappers, Joe D'Amico, Ross Benjamin, and Kevin Thomas. Teddy, what did we learn last night in the wonderful world of sports betting?
I want to talk about Steph Diggs for a minute. I think it's an interesting topic because obviously we all saw what happened on Sunday. The Bills got blown out at home. Steph Diggs threw a little temper tantrum on the sideline. He blew out of the stadium without talking to anyone afterwards, no reporters, no anything. And then yesterday, he decided to start tweeting about it, and his tweets make sense. Want me to be okay with losing? Nah. Want me to be okay with a level of play when it's up to the standard?
Bullshit.
Nah. I'm sorry, Lawrence?
His tweets did not make sense. The fact that he's not okay with losing doesn't give him the right to go off on the sideline. I'm not okay with losing. I don't scream and yell at people. Yes, I do. Shit, that didn't work. Dude, it's one thing to be not okay with losing. It's another thing to throw your teammate under the bus, start yelling at everybody, act like an imbecile, act like a child. So, yeah, I'm not buying it. With that said, this whole shit is so overblown. Who gives a crap about Steph Diggs and the way he reacted? He'll be back in Buffalo. He'll be spooning with Josh Allen by the second game, and they'll be rocking and rolling. Okay, I'm sorry. I interrupted your segment.
Oh, no, not at all, Lawrence. Keep going.
Really?
Tell me what you learned last night.
No, go ahead, Teddy. Keep going, man. It's okay. It's
You
okay,
just took all my
buddy.
points.
Oh, I did? That's good teamwork.
I'm doing my
We
bettors
are
learned
the
last
best.
night. You cut me off, took my points, and then walked away. That's
Mic
fine,
drop,
what
bitches.
This is what I wanted to say about Steph Diggs. It's not okay to be okay with losing. I agree with that 100%. It's the same thing in this business, all right? But it's also not okay to be a complete asshole either. Team matters. And I understand. Frustrated. I've been frustrated. I was pretty frustrated yesterday when I came on the show. Third straight year coming up short in the playoffs. I get it. But you can't throw your team under the bus. The Bills are a really interesting team to consider for next year. Has this team's window of opportunity come and gone? Can Steph Diggs make up with his teammates? Probably. I don't know. This type of thing has a tendency to linger sometimes. The Steph Diggs outbursts. And he's right in the sense that you don't want your guy to be okay with losing, but you don't want your guy to have a meltdown on the sideline and start ripping his teeth. There's a balance between the two. Lawrence?
Theodore, wonderful take, man. Really, really good stuff there, bro. Some schmuck interrupted you in the middle of it, but we'll move on from that. The Golden Eagle with a $10 tip. Thank you, Golden Eagle. He has a question, Teddy. Lakers on the money line. Do you have any thought on that game?
So I have an opinion on literally every game on the card tonight in the NBA, except that one. I have no idea what to do with that game. I really don't. The Clippers
Bryan Power.
now.
Maybe he got
the Clippers A game is good and their not A game is not good, and I don't know what to do with the Clips. I'm pass.
That's a great point. Bryan Power, welcome to WagerTalk Today. And yeah, Teddy, with the Clippers, I mean, they show up, they beat anybody. They don't show up, they can't beat a person. And nobody calls us ahead of time and tells us if they're actually going to try.
Well, sometimes you find days where you think the Clips are going to show up, and there are instances. First of all, for the tip, we want to say thank you. As we were donating tips last year.
Yes.
I never remember hearing how that money all ended up, Prez. So we should probably do some accounting on that. Make sure we donate the tips where they're supposed to be donated. Thank you.
They will be donated, my brother. I'm with you 100%. Bryan Power, any quick thoughts on the Laker game?
Look, you guys have laid out why you need to tread lightly with the Clippers. I'll say this about the Lakers. Their last two games, kind of fortuitous, come from behind efforts. I mean, they were down, 25 at the half, Portland in their last game, come back and win. So I'm actually not rushing to play them right now. I would exercise caution with both Los Angeles professional basketball teams on Tuesday night.
I can't get that song In the Ghetto out of my head. Should we sing it, Teddy? Not even a comment. Look at us. Look at us, Bri. Anyway,
you guys are always so friendly when I come on the program. Yes, you always at each other.
I gotta tell you, Bri, you're on the program due to popular demand, bro. The people have spoken. They love Bryan Power, and so do we. We're lucky to have you, man. Miami Heat tonight at home hosting Boston, -3, a total of 218. How you betting this game?
Okay, kind of an interesting handicap here. It's second night of a back-to-back for Boston. They suffered their first loss since January 3rd last night. 9-game win streak comes to an end. A shocking end, I may add, as they were beaten 113-98 by Orlando. Side note, Orlando has really given Boston some trouble this year. It's quite the head-scratcher there when you look at those head-to-head results. And you look at the Boston side from last night, they lose to the Magic by 15, despite Brown and Tatum combining for 52 points. Now, they were a bit shorthanded. Smart, Brogdon, Williams, they were all out. So you can see why there wasn't a lot of help there from the supporting cast. On the other side, you got Miami, closer to full strength than they have been in quite some time. I think anyone who's been following the NBA knows that the Heat's injury list can often read rather long, but it's on the shorter side. Basically, nobody on it of substance tonight. And they've won 5 of 7 overall. perfect 4-0 at home during that stretch are the Heat. Sunday, they hold on for a 4-point victory against New Orleans. Didn't cash, but they did cash the last time they played the Celtics. It was an overtime win, an outright win in Boston. Adebayo had 28 in that game. And the Celtics, surprisingly, guys, not that good in revenge spots this season. They've covered only 2 of 12, including 1 of 7 if that loss came at home. So the trends do not support a Celtics bounce back in this situation tonight. I know Miami's going to have to get its offense going. Defensively, though, they're fine. They've held 3 of the last 5 opponents under 100 points. I will say, if you haven't played the Heat yet, I regret to inform you have missed the best of the number. They're up to -3 now, but you can always do what I did and just play them on the money line. I like the Heat on the money line in this one and to make it back-to-back losses. Yes, back-to-back losses for the Celtics.
So the Boston Celtics have been underdogs twice this year prior to today, and they won both of those games pretty easily. Boston on the second of back-to-backs, 7-0 straight up, 5-1-1 against the spread. Either of those two factors, and there's a chance. We're still seeing Williams, Smart, and Brogdon all listed as questionable for tonight. So the chance that Boston could get some of the guys that they missed last night in Orlando back. Does any of those factors change your opinion about this one? Whether it's the Celtics good on back-to-backs, whether it's the Celtics good as underdogs, whether the Celtics potentially getting key guys that missed last night back in the lineup this evening.
Yeah, certainly I was aware of that back-to-back trend, Teddy, and certainly it does give you pause. I will give you the very unscientific response of, well, what, are they going to win them all? But there's another trend that I think you should check out with the Celtics, and that's this surprised me as well, along with them struggling in revenge spots. They're not great off one loss exact. They've lost when they're off just one loss. They have lost the next game more often than not than they have won. I believe it is, I've got it right in front of me, 0-1, 2-1. They're below 500. I don't want to go through it. That makes for a lousy podcast, but they are below 500 in that situation. So I think that people are going to look at a team like Boston, who's obviously having a great year. We're not going to, disregard what they've done, but they're going to see them as underdogs and probably be tempted. I just think Miami tonight, good situation. They're playing better. The Heat, I think you can make an argument, are undervalued relative to where they were at the start of the season. Let's not forget, what they've done the last couple of years. I think right now might be a good time to play on the Heat.
Bryan Power joining us, everyone. You can find him at WagerTalk.com, exclusive handicapper, and a really good dude. We spoke on the phone yesterday.
We did.
Yeah, you had some bad things to say about Teddy, and it didn't feel right, but I enjoyed hearing it, Bryan.
I thought that conversation was going to remain,
Oh, no,
friends. Okay. No.
It will remain private. I'm not going to repeat a damn thing.
Oh, okay.
But,
we love Teddy.
Bro.
We love Teddy.
Great
yes.
combo.
Yes.
Speaking of Teddy, Bryan, we're gonna ask Teddy a quick question in the middle of your segment. Teddy, one of our listeners wants to know how the hell you have time to handicap with all the shows you are on, and that you have a family. Plus, you need at least 2 hours. I added this part to get over doing a show with the Prez.
So next year during football season, I'm doing less shows. I was overextended this football season. I did too much. When football season wears down, you don't have as many shows, and it's fine. But yeah, I absolutely attribute some of my struggles this year to the fact that I did too many shows. I won't do that next year. That's a lesson I have learned.
Bryan Power, how many hours a day you put into handicapping?
Oh, quite. I would say when I'm not speaking to you on the phone, yeah, it's basically about all of them. I mean, there's just so much going on. I mean, I don't need to tell you guys. I mean, this time it's crazy. I mean, with college football gone, it's a little bit of a respite, you think, but I don't know. The time that you spent with college football, you just kind of probably pour more into hoops, whether it be NBA or college. So yeah, there's really kind of no rest for the wicked, I suppose.
Yeah, it's unbelievable how, and I'll tell all you listeners, because, as you all know, I'm one of the owners of WagerTalk, and I see these guys and I know how hard they work. It's unbelievable the amount of time that these handicappers put into coming up with bets. I mean, I'm telling you, It could be upwards of 6 to 8 hours a day, just piling through data to find bets for you all. It is remarkable, and it is a full-time freaking job, all day and all night. I wouldn't wish it on anyone, but we do have a lot of highs in this industry, to say the least. Wyoming and UNLV, Bryan Power, how we betting this one?
Dogs sound like they're barking. Hopefully they are in this one as well. You talk about handicapping all night, Prez. Man, I don't have it as much as I used to anymore. Regretfully, I'll let the people know there have been 2 great New Mexico games that have gone into overtime late night in the last 4 days. Fell asleep during both of them. So I can't stay up like I used to. And you're going to have to stay up late for this one because it is an 11 o'clock tip here on the East Coast. And we're looking at Wyoming UNLV. Like you mentioned, Wyoming's been one of the unluckiest teams in the country for those who have not been paying attention to the Mountain West this year. Not just in the Mountain West, but in the entire country. Like I said, Wyoming, their bottom 20 luck rating at Ken Palm. And some of that's poor health. They were 0-6 to start conference play. 4-13 overall, entering Saturday's game with Colorado State. But shot quality data suggests that record should have been better. And sure enough, getting a little healthier. Cowboys break through, 58-57 win against Colorado State on Saturday. And I think that turnaround is going to continue tonight in Las Vegas against the UNLV team that, quite frankly, has been reeling itself. They've dropped 4 straight and 6 of 7. The lone win for UNLV, by the way, during that stretch is when I took them plus the points against New Mexico. But similar to Wyoming, UNLV, they've been losing close. Not so much on Saturday, though. They get beat by 13 at Fresno State as a 3.5-point favorite. That's a concerning result. And you look at this big picture, it's the bottom 2 teams in the Mountain West. Both have struggled to close out close games. But I see no reason why not to take the points here, guys. UNLV is just 1-6 against the number as a home favorite this season. Wyoming, the data shows, has been the slightly less lucky of the 2 sides, so they're more due for a turnaround, in my opinion. Hunter Maldonado being back is key. He missed a game against Air Force last week, returned against Colorado State, did not shoot well. I expect him to shoot better than 3 for 8 from the floor tonight. Look for the visitors to slow the tempo down, and at the very least, Wyoming stays within the number. Take the points late night in Las Vegas.
Do you worry at all about the fact that the Cowboys really haven't, they've been pretty ugly on the highway this year. They're an offensively challenged team to begin with. And when you put them on the road, they've, what game was I watching? They couldn't put the biscuit in the basket. I'm trying to remember which game it was that I was watching. They've had some rough, and even though they lost to Air Force last week. I think it was the Fresno game that I was watching, the Utah State game. Yeah, where it felt really one-sided. We worry about Wyoming scoring on the highway because this is, like I said, a very offensively challenged team.
Yeah, 2 things to that, Teddy. One, as I said, I think we could slow the tempo down here to keep UNLV under control. And look at who Wyoming has played, kind of in their swoon amidst injuries. They played the 4 best teams in the Mountain West. Okay, San Diego State, Utah State, Boise State, San Diego State, New Mexico. Did I mention them already? But it's the 4 best teams in the Mountain West. And they played St. Mary's and Dayton out of conference as well. All those teams are better than UNLV. I just look at this as a coin flip game. And as I mentioned, UNLV 1-6 against the number as a home favorite. To me, it's not just an endorsement buy low on Wyoming. We're selling on UNLV too. Just not a team that should be favored by 7 in a coin flip game.
Bryan Power, everybody. Stay with us. Dan, no commercial break today. We'll go from Bryan straight into Teddy's big game breakdown. Bry, what do you got to promote, brother?
Yeah, got 6 plays available for today. I really emphasize everyone gets the all-access pass. You get all of them for $39. 2 in soccer, 2 in college hoops, 2 in NBA. Looking for after last night, we split 2 and 2 on the board, looking for a big bounce back from that. And certainly still kind of a little sore from that Buffalo loss on Sunday, though it was a winning Sunday overall. Looking to get back in the winner's circle tonight. I think we got the card to do it over at WagerTalk.
Outstanding stuff. Awesome. Bryan Power, everyone. Guys, hit that like button. Let's get to 100. Teddy, a great question in the chat room. I want to answer it real quick, and then we'll go to your big game breakdown. One of the guys asked, do you make more money? And I'll answer this question, Teddy. Do y'all make more money pick sharing or betting yourself? Listen, here's the answer to that question. I don't ask one single handicapper on our website to show me or tell me how much they bet on each game. That is everybody's personal business. I can say this. It is my guess that the youngins make more money selling picks than betting because they haven't had enough years to build up a bankroll. That's a guess. I can speak on my behalf. I make more money betting than I do selling picks. I make more money from WagerTalk as one of the owners than I do betting or selling picks, but that's a business. That's different. As far as betting versus selling picks, I personally make more money betting than I do selling picks. I am guessing that is the same for Marco, Dave Koken, Teddy, all the older guys that have sort of accumulated wealth as they have aged. Do you want to jump in there, Theodore?
Sure. It has everything to do with what kind of a bankroll you have and what your unit size is. And as you mentioned, when you develop the bankroll, you tend to bet a little bit larger, which will affect the ratio of pick sales versus betting. I'll say this. When I'm winning, I make a lot more money betting.
Yeah, and when you're losing, you make more money selling picks. We get it, Teddy. That's pretty damn obvious. But on a whole, hey, Dave Sharapan, you keep it down, dude. You keep it down in the background there. We got Theodore's big game breakdown. My brother, the mic is yours.
It is time for today's big game breakdown, and this one is a maybe play. I'm going to explain in just a minute. Let's talk about the Denver Nuggets and the New Orleans Pelicans for tonight. Right now, look at the WagerTalk live odds screen. I'm seeing Denver -1, total 230.5. If Jokic plays, we're on Denver. If Jokic doesn't play, we're on the under. It's just that simple. All right. And this is one of those scenarios where right now he's listed as questionable for tonight. This one where we want to monitor his status for this evening. All right. When you heard some of the quotes and when you watched Denver run their offense without him against a not that good OKC team over the weekend, here's the quote. When Nicola's on the floor, it's virtually impossible to switch. Quote, I think it's much easier to switch 1 through 5 with us. This is from acting head coach David Edelman. Remember, head coach Mike Malone is on leave with what's the word I'm looking for? Illness. He's not around right now. Quote: I think it's much easier to switch 1 through 5 with us. With Nicola's on the floor, it's virtually impossible to do that. It's virtually impossible to zone us. The Thunder did those two things, and they're smart things to do. New Orleans is a good defensive team. All right. And now that Herb Jones and Jose Alvarado are getting extra minutes without Ingram and Zion in the lineup, an even better defensive team. All right. They've been struggling on the offensive end in really bad fourth quarters. They scored 24 in the fourth on Sunday. They had 19 at Orlando on Friday. They had 22 at Cleveland and during the skid, and 22 against Miami with the Heat starters sitting. They're just not scoring during crunch time. They're turning the ball over right now. It's a problem for New Orleans offensively. So if Joker plays, we're going to continue to fade the Pelicans. If he doesn't play, we're going to look at the under in this one. I don't think Denver's going to put the biscuit in the basket a whole lot. So this is an if. Take advantage. There's your big game breakdown. Back to you, Mr. Prez.
Teddy covers great stuff. I'm in play on that game, everyone. You can grab it over at WagerTalk. It's part of my package. It comes with my 5% college basketball play. Teddy Rara asks, what's the biggest wager you've ever made on a game? So, Rara, the answer to that question is the only thing that matters is the percentage of your net worth. If I made a $20 million wager on a game and I'm worth $16 billion, that would be equivalent to you making a 5-cent wager on a game. So with that said, when I was young, the biggest bet I ever made was 100% of my life savings.
Oh,
A
God.
whole lot of freaking times.
Not good.
And I got killed and slaughtered every
That's not
single
good.
one of those damn times. Now, the biggest bet I make is 5% of my bankroll. Never, ever, ever higher than that. Teddy, anything to add?
Yes,
That's
because the
upsetting.
biggest bet I ever made was a hedge against a future wager that I made earlier. That was more than 5% of my bankroll, but it was a win-win scenario. So there are times you're going to find if you have a future. And again, this is fairly early in my, this is in the aughts. But that was the biggest bet I ever made. And I don't expect to make a bigger one.
Yeah. I made a big bet on you, though, Teddy. I mean, it's mediumly paying off, but, we also bought the gold sheet. That was a big bet. Dave Sharapan, you've been grunting and groaning in the background since the minute you got on this show. What do you want to talk about?
I just wanted to make sure that you knew I was here and that I was on time and that I was listening to every word you said, hanging on every word that you said, despite the fact that I don't want any drama on Tuesday. And God damn, do you look good? Like you got a tan. Like, I don't know, where were you? You look fantastic. You either got new makeup or moisturizer or something, or you look like you've been at the beach for a week.
Dude, you got no idea. I mean, I literally am turned on just looking at myself right now.
That I believe.
Teddy's like,
Theodore, what do we say to that? I mean, what do we say to that? You want me to put the glasses on that you like so much? I'm going to put the glasses on. I know you like these glasses.
Yeah, well, listen.
Dave.
Teddy, go.
Let's leave Lawrence aside for a minute and talk about
Yeah, let the adults talk.
Yeah. Let the grown-ups in the room. All right. So one of the fascinating things about both of these championship games for this coming weekend, I see you with your Bengals hat, is where the mainstream media or the various media sources were reporting that the lines open.
Oh, yeah.
Now, in a global marketplace, it's pretty clear the lines didn't open globally anywhere. All right. They bounced around. One book opens 3.5. One book opens 1.5. The bettors decide what's right. Was that the case for both of these games? Was there a legit opener for either of the two championship games? And if so, what was it? And if not, why do all these mainstream sources keep talking about it?
It's fun because I was on Sports Grid on Sunday, first with Morency and Scotty Farrell while the first game was ending. And I watched the lines open up. I was actually trading texts with guys that work in the books, and they're like, Dave, what do you make the game? What do you do this? And it's fun because I did it for years, trying to be first or trying to be second or come off of whatever number. I saw Cincinnati -1. I saw Kansas City -2.5 and everything in between. The answer was pick. It was pretty simple. Just put up pick and let the bettors move the money. That's all the answer was for that game. And then I was on with Ranieri and Harrison on the follow-up for the second game for the Cowboys and Niners game when that ended, and we were trying to come up with a number. And I said the same thing. Put up pick and let the bettors move it. And that's kind of what that did. There was more picks and ones on Philadelphia. That was more the consensus opening number. But the Cincinnati and Kansas City game was there were books legitimately offshore, globally is the word we're using, but that they're in places far away. They opened Cincy the favorite. You wake up today, Cincy's a consensus favorite, -2. Obviously, it's a high ankle sprain for Patrick Mahomes that everybody's talking about, concerned about. I mean, it looked bad. It's going to affect the game. So, bettors move the number.
Is this as high as it's going to get with Cincinnati? Look, we assume Mahomes is going to play. All right. Everything I'm reading, Mahomes is going to play. He's getting treatment. Everything's fine. Is this one of these deals that we're seeing like a Tuesday overreaction and it's going to swing back later in the week? Or is there a chance we get to 3? And if you like KC, you want to wait?
Well, if you like KC, first of all, you're going to like the red lid. Okay. But yes, I think the first book to 3 will tell the whole story. and you see a couple prominent books here in Vegas, and Westgate and a Circa, or it's sitting at 2.5, and they're waiting to see if anybody will take it on Tuesday, on Flex Tuesday, actually. No Drama Tuesday, okay? But this is it. You got 2 swings left at a big day as a book. You got to figure out different ways to keep making money, because after Sunday, you're looking at the long, cold, wintry abyss of college basketball, NBA basketball, and hockey, at least until baseball numbers come up and we can get to spring. So, yeah, I think you're going to see a little more flexibility. The other thing that nobody talks about is the future positions. I would be okay needing either team in the game, because if we've done our job right as a book, we're sitting in a pretty damn good position future-wise. If it's Kansas City and Cincinnati in the AFC and Philadelphia and San Francisco in the NFC, you can't be running a book and have a negative exposure to any one of these teams. And if you do, you're just not paying attention. That's it.
Future book wagers, and of course, all 4 of those teams basically priced. I've seen plus 250 to plus 300 on every one of them. Who's going to win the Super Bowl, Dave?
Teddy, I'm going to wait for either a presidential address or some other thing to come and, find out. I think you could talk to, I don't know how many people actually work for WagerTalk, but you could talk to, say, 20 different people and get 20 different opinions about the game. I don't think there's a consensus choice. I really don't. There's people that think San Francisco and Brock Purdy are going to go to Philadelphia in the first game and win. He's a rookie quarterback's going to take the show on the road. He hasn't lost a game yet, and it's not going to be cold, okay? But I mean, I got this one, and I'm ready to go for game day for San Francisco. But at the same time, did you see how good the Eagles looked? Did you see how good they played? And did you see how good the defense looked? Now, someone asked me, and on my show, Bostonian versus the book, I told Peralt this. I'm telling everybody that comes on. As the book, you take nothing from that game. Nothing. It's a third matchup with a division opponent who was very good against the spread. But, I mean, let's be honest. The Giants, above average, slightly football team. Eagles are the number 1 seed. They did what they were supposed to do. Now, they blew them out and covered the teasers, and thank God they did, because that was the only side of the teasers they covered for the books. And I didn't want to have to hear my bookmaker friends crying and whining that, the teasers. So I can't wait to watch the games on Sunday, Teddy. And I put this one in the arsenal too, because I love green. I love the Eagles, and I think they're going to win. I like the Eagles as of right now. Could change by Friday. I don't know yet.
Of course, we're talking with Dave Sharapan, veteran odds maker, both in the global world and here in Las Vegas. You can follow him on Twitter at SportsBKConsig. Sport for short for Sportsbook Conciliary. SportsBKConsig. Dave Sharapan on Twitter. Is this Eagles line going to 3? Is this total going higher than 46 that we're seeing now? We've seen over money this morning. We've seen nothing but Philly money so far.
Yes.
Do you need to? Is there urgency if you like the Eagles side in this one?
If you like the over, you got to bet it today. It's going to 46. There's no question about that. The debate on going to 3 is really hard, because if you do, you either get an insta-bet and you stay, or you got to come back off of it, and now that's the side that they're coming with the bags. So the first 1 to 3 will tell the story. If they go to 3 and stay, then you'll know that they're going to be okay with that position. If they go to 3 and bounce back immediately, and like Chris at the South Point will be the first one to do it probably in Vegas, because they use 110 all the time. You're seeing juice -2.5, -15 now. You'll probably see -20. There's going to be a huge reluctance for a lot of books to actually go to 3, Teddy. So I can't wait. It's coming. Someone's going to do it. It's just a matter for me whether they stay there or not and bounce back or not.
And real quick, Dave, before we let you go, does anything stand out on tonight's hoops card when it comes to pro action, Joe action, something that has stood out this morning in terms of the betting action in basketball?
Well, you get Boston on a back-to-back, and they lost their first game, and they were going for 9 in a row last night. They lost for the third time this season to Orlando. They have 13 losses on the season, and 3 of them were to the Orlando Magic, one of the worst teams in basketball. So you catch them on a back-to-back in Miami. I'll talk to Ranieri later, but you figure you got to play. I would think that they're going to come on the Celtics in the follow-up. Against the Knicks, Cleveland laying points on the road, it's a short number, but the Knicks have been dismal lately. So that one. And then the Clippers and Lakers later. I mean, that's the game of the night, at least for the West Coast guys and for the Western Conference, because the Lakers made a trade yesterday, and apparently they're going to be in the Western Conference Finals because they got a guy from the Washington Wizards that is just going to make them that much better. So be looking to take the Lakers plus the points. I think that's plays coming. They're going to just wait and sit and wait on that one. And hockey, I just want Prez's picks. I mean, Prez has been on fire, smoking hot. The Boston Bruins are the best team in hockey. They win on the puck line every single night. It's nauseating, Prez, isn't it? The Bruins are the best team in hockey. It's not close.
Oh, Dave, I want them to keep winning, man. Win, 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 win. And then when you meet the Leafs in round 2, lose.
Who do the Leafs beat in round 1? That's what I need to know. Please tell me they're not.
We know who they're playing in round 1 because the NHL seeding is so goddamn stupid that they have to play the same 2 teams every goddamn freaking playoffs for the rest of eternity. It's utterly absurd. They're playing Tampa Bay. Everybody knows. Who cares? Dave, that was a great segment, man. Really awesome stuff. We love having you on.
Appreciate it.
I don't need your NHL thoughts. Anything left to discuss?
No, I mean, the last thing is like it's great. We got enough likes. You can do a president address or not. That's your discretion.
Seconds.
It's nobody's business what you're betting and how you bet. It doesn't matter what your biggest bet was. It doesn't matter what you're betting. It's nauseating discussion. It's ended.
Dave,
stop asking.
Dave, I get it every day. I'm in my hockey dressing room. Hey, Prez, how much did you bet on this game? I'm out at a friend's house. Hey, Prez, how much you bet on this game? Every time someone asks me that question, my response is exactly the same. How much did you earn in your job? And they're like, it's none of your business. And I'm like, exactly. Dave Sharapan, everybody.
Hey.
Dan, we got 100 likes. We got a hard stop in 2 minutes, so throw it in. Let's go. All right, guys, I got 3 NHL bets for you guys. Before we get into that, I do want to point out that I have my first college basketball 5% play of the season up tonight. I am the #1 college basketball and NBA expert at WagerTalk and Profit, wire to wire. From start to this very moment, I'm on a 6-0, 17-6, and 89-50. 89-50 hoops run. I'm up 81 units on the year. My college basketball 4-0 run, 11-5 run, up 23 units, on and on and on. Get my 5% play tonight. Inside of that package is a huge offer for you all that expires at midnight. Okay. Enough, Prez, enough. Let's get into some picks. Detroit Red Wings, -150 tonight. I like them a lot. It's a great spot for the Wings. I also like the Florida Panthers. We went with them last night and lost. They're coming into Pittsburgh tonight. They're +135. I think they're a bet on team moving forward. And my favorite play, a play that I would have put out for my clients, the under in Boston and Montreal. Throw a little bit on Boston -2.5 as well. That's a predicted 3-0 game. That's it for the show. Teddy, my brother, I'm eating chicken corn Manhattan soup with a Montreal bagel, and I'm doing it now. Take us home. Take us home.
That's going to wrap it for the Tuesday edition of Wager Talk Today. We'll do it again tomorrow, same time, same channel. 9 a.m. here on the left coast. Noon for you back east. Between now and then, you guys know what to do. Enjoy the games, and good luck with all your wagers.
Have you checked out all the new handicappers at WagerTalk? If not, here's your chance. You can take 50% off your first daily or 3-day all-access purchase at WagerTalk using coupon code TRYWT. Our new roster of experts is 30 deep, covering sports from all around the world, giving you tons of options to choose from. All you have to do to redeem this offer is go to WagerTalk.com, choose a handicapper of your choice, and use coupon code TRYWT at checkout, saving 50% on your first purchase.